Let's take a look at this word problem where we have to write a linear equation from it and then make a prediction from it. So this problem gives us some information. It says in 2013 there was 1.31 billion smartphones. And then it also tells us that in 2017 there was 2.38 billion smartphones. And it says write and use an equation to estimate the number of users in 2025. Well, we can do this a variety of ways. We can, first of all, we have to pick an equation that we can use to model the situation. So that can either be point-slope form or that can be slope-intercept form. Either one we use is going to be okay. One thing we're going to for sure have to do is calculate the slope of this equation. So first let's calculate the slope here. Okay, so I can treat the year as my x and then the smartphone users as the y. And if I calculate the slope here, the slope would be, again, the slope formula. Let's treat this as x1, y1, and treat this bottom one as our x2 and our y2. The slope formula is just y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So we're finding the change in the y and comparing that to the change in the x. So in this problem, we would say it's 2.38 minus 1.31 divided by 2017 minus 2013. So if we calculate that out, this would give us a 1.07 divided by 4. So our slope is going to be some sort of fraction here. We could figure out what that fraction is by just using a calculator to divide those things up. So let's see, 1.07 divided by 4 is about 0.2675. So 0.2675, and that is our slope of the problem. So with this, there's a couple different ways we could go. I'm just going to choose the slope-intercept form. So I'm going to say y equals mx plus b. And we can use this as our form because we can see that we already know the slope. And the b value is typically thought of as our y-intercept, or could think of it as our starting value. So we can interpret this situation as, well, the starting value in this case is 1.31. Okay, because in 2013 we're starting this. This data starts in 2013, and that's where it was. So we can write our equation as y equals 0.2675x plus 1.31. There's our equation right there. Now, because we chose 1.31 as our starting value, we want to define what x is equal to here. So we're going to define x as the years since. We're going to say x is the years since 2013. Since we chose our starting value to be 2013, then we're going to say x is the amount of years past that time, right? So then if we look at the follow-up question says estimate the number of users in 2025. Well, we would have to, since we started at 2013 and we defined x as the years since 2013, we'd have to ask ourselves, well, how many years has it been since 2013 if we're in 2025? Well, that would have to be 12. So we'd have to say, x equals 12 for 2025. So if we wanted to answer that question, then we could just substitute 12 in for x. Say 0.2675 times 12 plus 1.31. So let's go ahead and figure that out. It's going to be 0.2675 times 12, which is 3.21, and then plus 1.31, and that gives us 4.52. So this would equal 4.52 would be the prediction, and this would be billion users, smartphone users. That would be the prediction for 2025.